Hello, you're welcome to the news in brief on Graphic Online. In the headlines, 2022 budget back in Parliament as Majority Caucus passes it, while Minority side stages a walkout. Also in Parliament, Speaker Bagbin reacts to Dubai medical review trip. Graphic Clinic and MedGraph Pharmacy to organize health screening on Friday. And public institutions urged to submit reports on how they are implementing the Right to Information Act by March 2nd. Members of Parliament met today, and the main business on the floor was the return of the 2022 budget to the House. Following a decision that there were 137 members on the floor last Friday, the House carried a motion for a rescission of the rejection of the decision last Friday. This followed the argument by the Majority Caucus that less than half of the members met last Friday to reject the budget. The Deputy Speaker, Mr. Joe Osei-Wusu, presided over the House following a travel outside of Ghana for a medical review in Dubai by the substantive Speaker, Mr. Bagbin.
In deciding on whether to rescind a decision to reject the budget last Friday, this is what the Deputy Speaker said.
Article 104(1), except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of the majority of members present and voting. The vote of the majority of members present and voting, with at least half of all the members of Parliament present. What it means is that before you take a decision, there must be at least a majority of all members present. With me, we have 138 members. That's a majority. It doesn't mean that all the 138 must vote yes or no. A majority of this 138, their decision will carry the day. I'll go ahead and put the question on the motion proposed before us. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Per the decision today, the Deputy Speaker invited the Minister of Finance, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, for a concluding statement on the budget. The Minority Caucus also staged a walkout.
Mr. Speaker, the big issue in the House is the elephant in the room, which is the e-levy. Mr. Speaker, the e-levy enables us to tackle the three issues of debt sustainability, of infrastructure, and most importantly, of our employment issues. We have 11 million people, youth, and we have in this budget introduced the largest ever youth program of 10 billion Ghana cedis.
Prior to that, the majority and minority sides met for their various caucus meetings in the morning. With their leaders, they held closed-door discussions, planning the best move to adopt ahead on the way forward. There were indications the option of consensus building was being considered by all the sides, but when sitting resumed, the Minority Caucus was absent. This is what transpired in the House today.
All in favor of the House adopting the resolution moved by the Honourable Minister for Finance, say aye. All against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion moved. The House has adopted the financial. The House has accordingly approved the budget statement for the ensuing year ending 31st December 2022.
The minority reacted with a press conference.
We don't support the e-levy in its form and character as announced in paragraph 315 and 316 of the budget statement. Our indication to them to revise it to take care of the ordinary people, particularly people who depend on $100 remittances from abroad, even when the ranking member of finance schooled them that not all the remittances go to household. Some of it is for purposes of business, capital. as the Honorable Adongo observed, you don't tax capital. So concessions, I want anybody to show to me where they have approved a budget subject to unknown concessions. The concessions are known only to Minister of Finance and to the Honorable Osechi Mensah Bonsu. Is that how the Parliament of Ghana should work? Is that how Parliament should approve a budget policy and economic policy statement of government? We are a very constructive and reasonable opposition.
Also in Parliament, the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Bagbin, has reacted to media reports suggesting that he traveled with a large delegation to Dubai to undergo a medical review. He explained that he is mindful of the number of staff he travels with, an effort he says is to protect the public press.
According to a statement from the Office of the Speaker of Parliament, signed by the Speaker's Counsel, Magnus Kofi Amwati, the Speaker's recent trip to Dubai for a routine medical checkup was part of his conditions of service. It explained that the Speaker travels with a comparatively skeletal staff, taking into consideration the economic situation in the country. It says it is, however, saddened by media reports on the trip, particularly on reasons why he is assessing health care abroad rather than home. It said all past speakers, particularly in the Fourth Republic, embarked on similar trips, noting that the entire leadership of the House are also entitled to say.
The Graphic Clinic and MedGraph Compound Pharmacy and Lab will on Friday resume its annual health screening at Hadabraka in Accra. The screening will take place at the Graphic Clinic and will allow residents check their health status and access quality health services.
Today, the Corporate Communications Manager of Graphic Communications Group Limited, Mr. Emmanuel Arthur, led a delegation from Graphic and MedGraph to pay a courtesy call on the Hadabraka Manche, Ni Tete Ajabin II. Ni Tete Ajabin II expressed gratitude to the management of Graphic for reinitiating the health screening, which he said has benefited his subjects for close to 20 years.
We initiated this health screening. We've been enjoying it for almost close to 20 years. I said maybe about 2 or 3 years ago when things changed. We decided to do a program.
And as part of efforts to ensure a full implementation of the Right to Information Act, all public institutions have been informed to submit to the Right to Information Commission reports on how they are implementing the Act in their various institutions. They are to submit that report by March 2nd, 2022.
The Executive Secretary of the Commission, Mr. Yao Sapon Watson, says Section 77 of the law compels public institutions to submit such written reports within 60 days after December 31 each year. Mr. Sapon says the report will include a number of applications approved and rejected, the reasons for rejection, and number of reviews requested, granted, and dismissed. He says the Commission has the powers to levy administrative penalties, but says it is encouraging public institutions to submit their reports to avoid such penalties. Mr. Sapon was speaking during a public forum organized by the Commission at Gwaso in the Afo region to educate heads of departments and agencies about their responsibilities under RTI Act 2019 Act 989 on Monday.
News in Brief was brought to you by Graphic News Plus.
Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Visit us on graphic.com.gh for further information. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you again with another edition. Stay safe and protect yourself from COVID-19. For more news, please visit graphic.com.gh or log on to Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube at GraphicGH. I am Enoch Dafa Frimpong.